Hi everyone, this is Spring, the fiber enthusiast. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be working on this motif here, and we will be making 4 of them, connecting them as we go. 1 white, and then 3 different color greens that you see here in front of you. I'll be using my number 5 tatting needle, along with 4 different colors of number 10 mercerized cotton thread. After we have completed our first one, we will start connecting them as we go. I will do the first 2 with you to show you how to do the motif, and the second one to show you how to connect the 2 together, leaving you with the last 2 to do on your own. Then we will reconvene and show what to do next. Are you ready to get started? Now you can do this all in one color if you so choose. I'm going to be starting with the dark green and working my way to the lightest color, which is white. That way you can see how to do this by me using the green first. Now we will be needing approximately 16 to 18 inches of tail to work this motif. There we go. All right, so about 16 to 18 inches of tail, and let's get started. We're going to begin the motif with one of the smaller rings and work our way around. We are going to start the smaller ring with 3 double stitches. Picot, 3 double stitches. Picot, 3 more double stitches. Picot, and 3 more double stitches. You should have a total of 3 picots and 4 sets of 3 double stitches. We're now going to pull our tail thread through. Remember, this is a ring, so you're going to want to reserve a loop at the end so that way we can pull our needle and tail thread through. From the bottom side of the ring, go ahead and pull your tail thread through and close to form a ring. Turn your work over, and it will naturally, if you turn your work like you're turning the page of a book, it will naturally create this teardrop shape. Insert your needle from the back side to the front, pulling your tail thread through and creating a knot. We're now going to work our first arch, and the arch is in sets of 2 double stitches picot, and you need a total of 8 picots. So 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches, and continue on until you have 8 picots. Okay, so you should have 8 picots with 2 double stitches before, in between, and after. Go ahead and slide your tail thread all the way through, since this is a arch. Okay. Once again, you're going to turn your work like you're turning the page of a book from right to left. And bring your needle and tail thread up through that teardrop and place a knot. We're now going to work our second ring. The second ring is made exactly like the first ring, except for our middle picot here, we're going to be connecting. So 3 double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches, and here's where we connect. Make sure that you pull that up and everything is lined up nicely, nothing is twisted. Slide your work to the end of your needle without popping it off, and we're going to pull up a loop with our needle through the picot from the previous ring, the very center picot, like that. And we want that to be a little bit loose. And how I do that is I go ahead and place my finger on that loop, creating another picot about the same size as the first one. Now I'm going to place a double stitch. Again, I'm holding it steady so that way I can stop them from getting smaller with my finger. So there's my first double stitch. Now that picot is connected and they're both about the same. 2 more double stitches after that one. And a picot and 3 double stitches to finish. This is a ring, so make sure you bring your tail thread through the loop and close to form a ring. Turn your work like you're turning the page of a book. Bring your needle from the back side to the front and place a knot. Okay, we're going to do another arch like the previous one. So 8 picots and 2 double stitches before, in between, and after. So starting with 2 double stitches, 1, 2, picot, 2 double stitches. Continue on until you have 8 picots. It was 1, 2, and 8 with the last 2 double stitches. I'll recheck these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Now I'm going to pull my tail thread all the way through because this is an arch. And once again, we're going to turn our work over from right to left, like you're turning the page of a book. Pull your tail thread through that teardrop and place a knot. Now we're going to do our next ring and connect in the same exact way we just did on the previous ring. Placing your needle on the end there and 3 double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches. Now we'll join to that center ring where, or center picot where we joined before. And doing the same exact thing, creating a larger picot. We don't want to snug it up tight. So this first double stitch we're going to do a little slower and make sure that that stays nice and loose, not too tight. And then add 2 more double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches. Okay. Now we're going to pull our tail thread through and close to form a ring. Turn your work over, place a knot. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Now we're going to do this small arch and begin the next side just like we did, and we'll end with the last small arch. Okay. The small arch has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 picots with 2 double stitches. So just like we did these bigger ones with 8 picots, we're only doing 5. So 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches, picot until you have 5 picots. 2, 3, 4, and 5, finishing up with our last 2 double stitches. Go ahead and pull your tail thread all the way through because this is an arch. Once again, turn your work from right to left. Place a knot at the top. And we'll begin the next section of rings and arches, starting with a ring. This ring connects to our previous ring on the side and the side only. So our very first picot is attaching to this picot over here. So 3 double stitches and then we attach. So pick up your work and attach, leaving it loose like this. I'm going to start my next double stitch, and I don't want it to be too tight, so I'm going to hang on to that thread, finish that double stitch up. That way it's nice and loose. All right, 2 more double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches, picot, and your last 3 double stitches. Pull your tail thread through and through your ring, your loop there, close to form a ring, turning your work from right to left and bringing your tail thread through and placing a knot. Now we're back to those bigger arches with 8 picots. So 2 double stitches to start, and picot 2 double stitches and continue on in that repeat until you have 8 picots. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 with the final 2 picots, or the final 2 double stitches. Go ahead and pull your tail thread all the way through since this is an arch. Okay, turn your work over on its side. And now we are going to place a knot at the end of that arch. Okay, let's begin our next ring. Our next ring, we will be connecting to the top like we did on those group of 3 over here where we connected at the top of the ring. We're going to start that. Okay, so let's begin with 3 double stitches, picot 3 double stitches. Okay, now we're going to connect to the top picot here. Remember, we're making it slightly loose so that way it's the same size as the picot on the ring before. And yes, that is a chicken in the background that you hear. I imagine she just laid an egg. Okay, 2 more double stitches to follow that first one. A picot and 3 last double stitches. Okay, so this is a ring. So we're going to close to form a ring, pulling your tail thread through and from the bottom side up through your loop. Okay. Turn your work over and place a knot. Now we're going to create another one of those long arches with the 8 picots. So starting with 2 double stitches, ending with 2 double stitches. And 8 picots in between. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pulling your tail thread all the way through. Turn your work over and place a knot. We'll do that final ring where we're connecting to 2 different picots at this time. All right, so we're going to begin with 3 double stitches, picot 3 double stitches, and then connect to the top here, just as we have started the last rings. So 3 double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches, make sure your work is not twisted, and connect to the top of that picot in the center. Again, make sure that you're loose and not too tight. You want to be about the same as the picot before. Start your next double stitch, keeping it from tightening down by placing your finger on that first half. Bring the second half to it, and now that double stitch is secure and won't tighten up anymore. 2 more double stitches, and then we'll connect to our very first ring of this motif. Okay. So we are connecting on the very first picot to the very first ring, so on the side here, and you're going to be aimed towards it with your needle, picking up from the top to the bottom, bringing that loop through. Again, doing it just like we've been doing the other connections, not too tight, not too loose. And then your 3 double stitches after the connection. And then we'll close to form a ring. Turn your work over and we'll do that last arch, which is the same as the small arch on the other side, with 5 picots and 2 double stitches in between. Okay, 2 double stitches, picot, 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 2 double stitches, and you should have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Go ahead and pull your tail thread all the way through, and we'll join this. So we're joining this right between our first arch and our first ring, and come from the bottom side of that join with your needle. Just like that. Go ahead and pull it all the way through. And now we're just going to place a knot and sew in our tail threads. Okay. We'll start the next motif, and I'll show you how to connect them as you go. Okay, so on this arch, this is where we start connecting to our previous motif. And we're going to start with 7 of the 8 picots that you would normally do. On the 7th one, that's where we connect, and then there will be 1 more picot after that. So let's go ahead and start with 2 double stitches, picot. It'll all make sense in just a moment. Picot, 2 double stitches in between each one of the picots. Let's get 6 of them on the needle, and on the 7th one we'll connect to our piece, our previous motif. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to connect to our previous motif. And we're going to be connecting them like this. So we're going to connect 7th picot to 7th picot. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which will be this picot right here. And you're going to go from top to bottom and pick up your thread, holding your pieces together. And again, we're going to make it so that way it's the same size as a picot. And we're going to finish this arch with 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches. And then we are connected to our first motif. There we go. Picot. Whoops. I had 1 extra double stitch there, so I'm going to pop it off. There we go. Picot and 2 double stitches to finish this arch. Okay, go ahead and pull your tail thread through. Make sure that everything is in the right spot here. There we go. Get everything lined out nicely. Okay, now turn your work over and we'll create our next ring. Now you have to hang on to both pieces a little bit here so that way everything stays in the right direction and you don't get them all twisted up. Okay. So let's begin our next ring. And this is created exactly the same way as we did on the first motif. We're going to be connecting these rings at the very top picot, the center of the 3 picots. So start with 3 double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches, and now we're going to connect to that previous ring, the very top picot, creating a loose connection, so it's not real snug and tight. That double stitch nice and snug up against that picot, and then 2 more double stitches to finish off your 3, a picot and 3 double stitches, and that will be it for that ring. Make sure and go through your loop down at the bottom here. Close to form a ring. Turn all your work over and place a knot. And now we're going to connect our next arch, and that's all the connection that you will be doing to your previous motif. It'll be completely connected and you'll just continue working the motif as it was previously done. Okay, so to connect this one, we need 2 double stitches, picot, 2 double stitches. And now we'll connect to the second picot out on this arch. So it's a mirrored image of the arch previous. Okay. Make sure you're keeping it nice and loose. And 2 double stitches, picot, and now you'll finish up with 6 more picots with double stitches in between. Last picot and last 2 double stitches for this arch. So you should have picot, you're connected, and then 6 picots following that with 2 double stitches in between each one and at the end. Go ahead and pull your tail thread through to form that arch. Turning your work over and placing a knot. We'll do that last ring together and then I'll leave you to finish. I will put timestamps down below with a short description of jump back 2, so 3 double stitches, picot, 3 double stitches, and then we'll join. Gonna join to the top picot there in the center where the other 2 are joined together. Again, making sure that it's not too tight. Start the first half of your double stitch following that connection. Hold it down so it don't get too tight. And the second half. And 2 more double stitches, picot, 3 more double stitches. And then you'll close to form a ring. Turn your work over and place a knot, and then you continue on. So I will put a timestamp in the description box to jump back to where we start this arch here. So you can just scroll down and click the timestamp and it'll send you back so you can finish up the rest of the motif. And then I will put a timestamp where to click to start the join. I hope that this makes sense and you follow along okay. If you have any questions or problems, please feel free to contact me with my email down in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Part 2 will be available in another video. Be blessed and be a blessing.